Today News. Latest news. Please support our work. The EU at risk as China's biding time to make Brussels consumer bloc by 2049. The EU's economy is heading into dangerous territory with its new China deal, as Beijing intends to reduce it to a consumer bloc in just 3 decades. Brussels stunned the Western world when it signed up to a new investment deal with Beijing, just weeks before US President Joe Biden officially took up his seat in the White House. The move was perceived as a major snub towards the US, especially as Mr. Biden had announced his intentions to work with the EU on a shared strategy towards China. Then this week, in his first presidential call with his Chinese counterpart, Mr. Biden reportedly discussed his fears about Beijing's coercive and unfair economic practices. The EU does not appear to have the same concerns. The investment deal, which was 7 years in the making, was reportedly pushed through due to Germany's growing reliance on the Chinese market for its economy. However, former Washington aide Peter Ruff told Today News that while such a contract with China could provide short-term economic relief to Germany, in particular the backbone of the whole EU, there could be serious consequences on the horizon. He hinted that there was a much wider plan coming out of Beijing, which the EU had yet to recognize. In an exclusive interview, he explained, "Europe has grown so dependent on the Chinese market, but really what they're doing is taking from a poisoned chalice. They're taking this large gulp to keep themselves healthy in the short term, but in the long term, the Chinese are using all of these subversive methods to build up their own home industries. So by 2049, the goal will not be interdependence with Europe, but autarky, where the Chinese companies hold all the risk to these high-end manufacturers. Then Europe is reduced to basically being a consumer market, and rather than exporting to the Chinese consumer market, it will be China exporting to the EU. 2049 is a significant milestone for China as it will mark 100 years of the nation's communist rule. The country's reach within the EU, predominantly through Germany, has indeed grown substantially in recent years, and there are even plans to turn Duisburg into a smart city. Huawei is China's telecoms giant which almost had a hand in creating the UK's 5G network, until Downing Street shut the company out over fears it would leak data back to Beijing and compromise Britain's security system. Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel allegedly pushed for this draft law to go through despite facing 2 years of opposition on the matter from her own party, German intelligence agencies and key allies. The EU as a whole does not appear to recognize any ulterior motives from China.